April 5th is a very special date in my own family history. Why? Because it's AJ's birthday. Yes, little AJ, the youngest one, it is his birthday. His original due date was April 8th, but he's, 3 days early still ain't bad. Still early. For those who don't know, and I will go and do William's birth story in a few weeks on his birthday on the 21st of April. Yeah. By the way, if you want to have an April baby, do it in July. Get that seed planted in July and you will have an April baby. I promise you that. Oh, because I'm pretty sure AJ was conceived July 4th. Yeah, our little firecracker tequila baby. I am convinced of that. Convinced. So, anyway. Oh, should have coughed before I got on here, but that's okay. Alright, so, how does it all start? It actually started the night before, so technically last night. So this time it's around 10 o'clock, April 5th. So at this time, 3 years ago, I was in bed still with probably one of those peanut balls between my legs waiting for my water to break. So my water didn't break until like around 11:30, 12 o'clock ish. It's around 1 ish. I'm just literally shooting to the end. Oh my god. Okay, so let's slow down. Let's go from the beginning. I promise you it won't be that long. But now that I'm out here doing this YouTube channel thing, like this is content that's worthy of having space on my channel. Both of my kids' birth story, and AJ is first because he just happens to be the first one in the month. That's yeah. Y'all get it. Okay, so it all started the night before, April 4th. All day I was feeling kind of crampy, kind of this and that, and I was just kind of like moving with, I'm like, okay, all right, it could be. By the time my husband came home, I can't even remember the time, maybe like 4-ish. I was really uncomfortable. Like, that is what I do remember. I was more uncomfortable than feeling like intense cramping. And so he was like, you know what, it could be in labor. I go, I could be too. I think so. Like, let's call my mom. Let's get her over to watch William, and let's just go down to the hospital. Because here's the thing. I had to go down to Hollywood Press, and I live out in Culver City, mid-city area, and from here, that's roughly 20 minutes, 30 minutes away, if traffic is good. And when we were leaving, it was going to be around rush hour. So I was hella nervous. I didn't want a freaking freeway baby. That was one of my fears when I had a William. And I'll definitely talk about that when I get there. And oh, see, he was delivered at Cedar Sinai. And then by the time I had AJ, they switched all of my insurance switched all of the I couldn't go to Cedar Sinai. Plus, I was even more nervous because it meant that a different doctor was going to catch the baby. I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, so from the minute we found out, we'll say around 4:30. By the time my mom gets there, that's around. Well, maybe it is there because I'm pretty sure. I think we got to the hospital around 8 o'clock and it was already dark. I do remember that, and I did call ahead because if you guys remember, about 3 years ago, we were about to hit a pandemic. Like, I'm pretty sure we were already in it because it hit in like late February, early March. So I called ahead and said, okay, so what are the rules? I'm about to deliver there in April. And they go, okay, well, come in, and only one person is allowed to be with you the whole time. Like, if your husband comes in to see the delivery, he's the only one allowed in. Like, he can't trade spaces with your mom, etc. I went, okay, all right. And, like, in my head, okay, my mom will see the baby anyway, like, for the rest of her life. It's like, he'll be around. And, excuse me, sorry. And so, what happened was, we were walking in, and we were getting there, and I was getting more and more uncomfortable, and things were definitely down there like getting more intense. And I'm like, okay, just get me to a bed, just get me to a bed, Emily, just get me to a motherfucking bed, okay? And so we're going through all the security checks, and because of the pandemic, they had to go and take our temperature, all the things. And I, I was very patient during that. I was not complaining, but I couldn't really talk. And they kept trying to explain the rules. And I looked kind of like I'm in labor. I know the rules, but I was trying to be respectful. And another security lady goes, I think, you know what, let's just let her pass because she looks really, like, hello, she is going into labor. Like, she is in labor. Like, let's let her move and all of that. And I said, oh my God, thank you. I know my husband's the only one allowed to come in and out. I know. And we moved along. We finally got me to bed. And I remember checking in. And it's funny because with William, I didn't know I was in labor either. And with AJ, I didn't know that my contractions were about 3 minutes to 5 minutes apart. And no water breaking. So I'm glad I got there when I did. Because any sooner, God knows what have happened. So timing is everything, and intuition is everything. Like, I'm telling you, when you're in the middle of that and you have an inkling to get to the hospital, listen to it and go. And definitely have if you have children, you've got to have your backup. Hello, my mom was the backup, and she was going to be the backup for number 3 too. All the things. We were giggling about that because I didn't want to cry. Okay, because this part is, yeah. So anyway, so we get there, and my water hasn't broken, and they kept saying, okay, we're gonna see how you go overnight, and by early morning, if you haven't broken your water, we're gonna give you Pitocin. I'm like, okay, all right. But I was in a lot of pain. I said, is there any way that I could get the epidural? I need the spinal tap. And they go, yeah, sure, of course. And so they hooked me up immediately, and it was one of those tap ones, I think, or it was an automatic one. And I kid you every time, and this is me just keeping it real here on this channel, epidurals make me throw up. I threw up with William, I threw up with AJ. It is tradition. If I don't throw up, there's something wrong. There was something wrong. I did not hit the right nerve. But anyway, once that happened, I knew. I was like, okay, all right, I'm kind of flowing. I'm kind of whatever. And so I try to sleep, and I don't really sleep, but I do rest. I will admit, when I'm in labor the last 2 times and I know what's going on, I stay very calm, and I've never gone through those if you know the proper term, please put it in the comments. But those people who go and take classes to get into the hypo mindset of like giving birth, I just naturally go there. And so my state, I'm very comfortable, and a lot of that is just keeping my eyes closed until it's time to push. And it's just me saving my energy to push, and just being relaxed as much as possible, and breathing as much as possible, and just relaxing so that my muscles, in my head, I feel like my muscles are being able to be loose so that the baby can wiggle into the proper position. But for some odd reason, AJ compared to William was very different. Where I was in labor for about 18 hours before I started pushing. William was like 8 hours maybe. And we'll obviously talk about that in a few weeks on his birthday. So anyway, I don't remember much because this is now 3 years ago, and a whole lot of life has happened since then. So they do end up giving me the Pitocin. I do remember that. That was around probably 5 or 6 in the morning. And I was moving and grooving, and I was trying, and nothing really happened, and my water didn't break until between 11, maybe 12:30. And it's so funny because I was talking to my aunt right after it happened, and I should have known it happened, and I should have known because of that pain. It was similar to the time it broke with William. So it's if you've been through it, you know when that balloon pops inside. It is a very intense body cramp, especially like abdominal cramp. I can't explain it. It's intense. Um, so I call my aunt and she goes, "Are you in labor?" I go, "Yeah." Like, I'm really uncomfortable. I'm breathing through that cramp, and I'm talking to my aunt as I'm doing it. And she goes, "Okay, well, you should get off the phone and call and tell a nurse and just chill out and tell me when the baby's born and yada yada yada, all the things." And so I'm like, "Okay." And so I don't remember. Oh, at that time I had sent Chele back to go get lunch for William and my mom. And so that's why he was gone. And it was funny. It broke literally about 10 minutes after he left. And so I told him, I said, "Still go get lunch because it could be a while. Just go get lunch. I'd rather know that William's getting lunch, and why not surprise him with his favorite thing, freaking McDonald's French fries." So that's what that's what he did. And it did take a while. Like, I was kind of amazed how long it took. And I think it's because I couldn't walk and I wasn't as active as I was with William. And that, again, will definitely, his story is a little bit more intense than AJ's. AJ's is just kind of like, it took a while. And finally, when the doctor came in, it was a male. And I knew it was going to be a male. And then everyone told me, "Oh, he's friends with Dr. Gupta." And because of insurance purposes, Dr. Gupta couldn't catch the baby. And so I had to go to Hollywood Press instead of Cedars-Sinai where she delivers. And it had to be some other dude. I didn't even want a dude between my legs. That's why there was a woman gynecologist. Like, what the hell? Like, seriously, that's... But anyway, I went with it, and because it was a man, I don't know if it was motivation, but I kid you not, I was like, "Okay, all right, okay, let's just, baby and let's just move this out fast so this man is out of my legs as quick as possible." I know my husband isn't gonna, like, really be mad because, hello, it's a doctor. We're having a baby. He needs to be there. But, like, I was just nervous. Like, I'm a weirdo. And I don't know, like, I cannot be the only woman. I cannot be the only woman. So, alright, we are back. And that is why I am glad I did not go live to tell this story because of William potty training. So I could hit pause and then come back, and here we are. Okay, so, where was I? To recap, we are at, oh yes, I'm about to push. We're at the big wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Okay, so yeah, so motivation, I'm pretty sure motivation was him being a him. And I know that sounds crazy, I'm sorry, but am I alone in that? Drop in the comments, am I alone that they rather have a woman catching the baby than a man because of just women? We all have the same parts. If my grandma was alive, she would think I was crazy because she had all male doctors and she loved it. I think she flirted with him, and that was like the thrill of it. God love her. Anyway, so we're there, we're pushing, and he by the time he comes in, he goes, "Oh my God, oh yeah, he's already crowning or not him, sorry, the baby's already crowning. He's right here. You just have to start pushing." And so my husband looked down and he was like, I saw his face and he looked and he goes, "Yeah, he's right there." And I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be easy." I'm like, "Sweet, yes, teamwork." And so I did the Beyonce, that I did the same trick that I with William. I did the whole visualization of like the door opening and like the baby coming out and stuff. So basically for me, I just visualized the baby coming through like some kind of canal and like the light and all of the things. So I did my pushing, and it was like, and ask me how long it took. Ask me how long it took. You'll be shocked. You'll be completely shocked how long it took me to push. Alright? William took me an hour to push. That is the comparison we're going to go. It'll be more or less. I'll give you a second to drop in the comments. Okay, alright, I'm done. It took 5 minutes. Did you guess correctly? It took 5 whole minutes. It was like 5 pushes, and I'm pretty sure those minutes were like within like a minute apart. And he was here, laying on my chest. Like holy shmoly. So yeah. That was amazing. That felt very badass. That gave me an adrenaline rush. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry, but every time I pushed out my kids out of my woo-ha, it has been a complete adrenaline rush. Like a bad, I'm like, this is my badassery power. I'm tapping into it. Like it is. I can't explain it. If you have pushed out a child, if you've given birth of any kind, C-section, however that happened, I'm sure you have felt that like that, because at the same time getting cut open by your stomach, that is a badass move too. You have to get cut open like that alone is intense and crazy and all the things. So those who have had a C-section, I want to applaud you. My mom had a C-section with me, so I came through as a C-section. So go for it. Like any way you give birth, it's an adrenaline rush, and that high kind of lasts for a few days, and I kind of like it. I ain't gonna lie. So what was it? Okay, so they go and they take him away right away, and I'm like, I didn't really get the skin on skin. I had told them when we had checked in, I had said, please, when the baby is born, can I have all the tests that can be done on my chest done before they take him away? And they go, yeah, absolutely. They wrote that in there, but when the moment came to be, they ignored it, and that pissed me off. That really did. And I looked at my husband and I said, you better follow them and you better watch them and all the things. And so he did, and all of that, and that was a very long, probably 5 minutes. I don't know if it was more or less than that, but it was very, very long. But by the time he came, all I could think about was give him the boob. Like, give him the boob, because I really, really wanted to try breastfeeding longer with him than with William, and I did. But hold on. So, he latched on and he was feeding. So for about 2 months, we thought everything was gravy. And I'll get to that in a minute. So we I give birth, all the things. They give me my room, and we're sitting and we're chilling. And the original plan was, and this is what we actually did do, was my husband would be there during the day for about a few hours, hang out with us, and then go home and be with William. And William would hang out with my mom most of the time. I think that was those 3 days. And then third day I finally came home. Oh my god, that was so great to finally see William. I'm not gonna lie, but William, classic freaking William. It was like, yay, mom, baby, what is this? He didn't cry or anything like that. And so what my husband did is we came in. I obviously gave him love, kisses, all the I had to get my own little mommy like craving out for his little loving, So we go and we take out AJ out of the car seat. We show him to William, and he's looking, and he does his little nervous giggle, and we try to have him hold him, and he's like, no. And it was like that for months, and still, like, about 2 years, that's how long it took. It wasn't up until AJ could actually get up, move around, hold his own, all the things, like, I would say once he hit 2, that's when William started hugging him and kissing him voluntarily. Now we have to make sure he isn't choking him, because he's hugging him so hard. So, hello, 3 years. 3 years. That is a big old progress for Mr. William in 3 years. So just give William a round of applause on that one. So, anyway, one of the things I noticed in the hospital is how strong he was. I remember it was in the morning, yes, because my husband came home and he was like, holy smokes, this baby's so different from William already. Okay, so it was the morning after. My husband was coming in. He was bringing me McDonald's because I wasn't going to eat just the hospital. I needed something else. And so he brought me McDonald's. And I had the baby on my chest. I think we had just got done feeding. And so we went and did what was it? So sorry, I got a text message. We went and so okay. Hi. We went and did tummy time, and I had him on my chest, but I wasn't really expecting like a full-fledged tummy time situation, like, you know, but I had him on my chest. We were doing skin to skin. If anything, we were doing skin to skin. And all of a sudden, he had his little fist just right, and he lifted his head, and he looked me dead in the eye. Like, what up, Mom? I am different from Big Brother. Just be aware. I'm like, and I'm over here like, oh my god. And then my husband's walking in, and he's like, we're all buzzed, like, our eyes are bugging out, and I'm like, what? And then he, like, you know, claps and put his head down, and he goes, and I looked at my husband. I said, did you see that? He goes, yeah, I did. And I said, oh, he's stronger, physically stronger than his brother already. And he goes, oh yeah. So really, and that has been the truth with AJ. AJ hit all of the physical milestones on time, just like he was supposed to. The only milestone he hasn't hit is the talking, but I don't know if he's following Big Brother. And I am in contact with the regional center, all the things, so that's in the works. Okay, so just so yeah, and he really is. He's calm, but he is adventurous. I don't know how else to explain it. He has a very calm demeanor to him, but like, you take him outside to like a park, you take him outside to nature, like some kind of place where he could really run and explore. He is like a good example. One of my favorite things is we take him down to Venice Beach. I do not recommend this. This thing always makes me nervous, but every once in a while when he gets that little freedom, the look on his face is classic, and I'm trying to get it on camera one of these days. Okay, so Venice Beach, when it's empty, we will kind of let him just run, right? And one of us will run after him and stay close to him, all the things, okay? So it is safe. It's just, he could run really fast. But if he's running, he'll look over at you and he'll have this like wild boy like smile. Like, you'll see the wildness in his eyes and all the things, and it's just like I can't explain it. The closest thing to it, and I hope, and I'll go back and we'll see if it pops up here, obviously, but yes, I think this weekend we went to the park and he was on a swing and he loved it. And he went and it was making all of these faces, and he did it real quick. So I don't know if I have it in a screenshot, but we will see it. We will see. But yeah, no. So, but really, AJ, he's an Aries, and of course, so the little pop culture fanatic in me. What did I do in all of this? What have I done with both of my kids? And I'll share William's celebrity birthdays with you later. So, fun fact. I can't believe I'm sharing this, but you know what? This is just me staying 100% authentic to myself. Okay, so I had an interesting sex dream with Zach Bagans while I was pregnant with AJ, where we were at some kind of farm, some kind of weird thing, where there was like crocodiles and this and that, and I was pushing him out of the way. Right? And but we were dating, and it didn't get super sexual. Like, I didn't have like full-fledged whatever, but like we were holding hands and it was romantic. We were flirting. We were like la 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 la, like it was that vibe, right? And I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, okay, all right, it's hormones, it's this, it's the pregnancy hormones, it's this, it's that, like it's whatever. Okay, so I am sitting in the bed, chilling with the baby, and I'm going through my phone, and I see Holly Madison, who is Zach Bagans' girlfriend in real life, right? Holly Madison was on Girls Next Door. She used to be #1 girlfriend to Hugh Hefner, all the things. And she goes, oh, it's baby's birthday, or BB's birthday. And I'm like, oh, who? And I'm like, oh, Zach Bagans. I remember her there being a rumor, like, and I try to confirm it, right? And then I go, Zach Bagans' birthday, and it's April 5th. Okay. Okay. But, and it's crazy. It is crazy. And so how do you explain that? And it's funny. My mom cracked a joke when she said, "Well, maybe Zach Bagans is the daddy." I'm like, Mom, how is that nearly impossible? I've never met the dude, and obviously I've never cheated on my husband. And it's funny, and once you see pictures of the boy's older sister that he's had in a different relationship, you see AJ, and then you see her at like the similar age at like when I believe AJ was around 18 months or so. Like, it was definitely over a year ago, or over a year he had turned, and they looked exactly like. The only thing is he had my skin and she had his skin. If you haven't seen my husband, if you, and do not come at me, and don't, if you go, you have to scroll through my stuff, because my husband doesn't like being shared. Like, he doesn't like being on camera. If anyone's noticed, if you followed me for any length of time, you don't see him that much. It's okay. You don't have to force it. Let's normalize someone who doesn't want to be on camera, and that is okay. Just know he is there, and this ain't fake. To all the creeps who go on there and troll and try to be my sugar daddy, nah. Don't have time for a sugar daddy. I'm sorry. But anyway, so, brain fart. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up. Anyway, that is AJ's birthday. That is his birth story. He was interesting. He was long. He was long but sweet. Like short but sweet. It was very interesting. It was, and he is adventurous. Even though he's not talking, he is very smart. He does pick up things very well. He can hold himself at a freaking park like no other. Oh my God. It gets nerve-wracking as a mother sometimes. Like, he's a daredevil kind of. He is living up to his fire sign energy as an Aries. He is a Aries, and he is here as a fire. Hear him roar. Oh, not roar, but oh, the holy schmoly. But I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, and give a happy, and if you've seen it this far, leave happy birthday AJ, and let's see how many happy birthday AJs we get. And then I'll tell him how many people have said it. On that note, thank you so much for supporting us, and we will talk to you later.